Now let's take a look at how to do the manufacturing estimates. Remember, to get the thing open, when you come to the resource page and click on it, it's going to ask you to make a copy, which means you have to have your Google Drive open or it won't let you make a copy because it has to have a place to put it. So have your Google Drive open. If you're still struggling with that, please let me know and I'll get you resources to help you figure out how to do that. So once it opens up, I've got a great big screen and it's kind of small looking here. I can make this look bigger. You can do it up here with the zoom, like 150%, or hold the control key down in the plus, or control and, well, I guess control and scroll isn't working in this browser. So now I can make it look a little bit bigger so that I can read it. Okay, and here's some information about it. Basically, why you're doing these calculations. They're for 3 different people, maybe the same person doing 3 different jobs involved in working with a part. And this is a kind of a foolish little part, but it's typical of what's called a flat plate layout that might be bent and punched and folded into a shape that's useful for some other operation or some other thing. Okay, and since you've done this one, we can do it. So here's what it says to do. I want to provide this design information. So the manufacturing time has to do with the perimeter of the part. Okay, because they're either going to use something like a water jet or a laser cutter or a plasma cutter or an EDM machine, something that goes around the part to cut it, maybe even a mill. And those things go at a certain speed, so the longer you go around, the longer it is. So manufacturing time has to do with the perimeter of the part. So how am I going to compute the perimeter? The computation is add up the sides. Now that doesn't fit there very well. So I'm going to know a little bit about Google Sheets and Excel. If I click on that, there's a tiny little button up here. And if I click on that, I can either overflow, clip it, or wrap it. So I do the wrap text. And here's my answer. Now I can do it here in my spreadsheet by saying equals, because the answer equals something, and start here. 2 plus 0.5 plus 1.82 plus 0.68, and oops, but I didn't do that right. 0.5 plus 1.82 plus 0.5 plus 0.68. And I could keep going and going and going until I was all the way around. Okay, so I can do it right in here by typing equal and then adding everything up. Or I can pull up my calculator and do it over here and see how it goes. So 2 plus 0.5 plus 1.82 plus 0.5 plus 0.68 as I go around. Okay? And so I can keep on going as I go. What I like about this is I can look at it later on like, oh, I made a mistake there. And I can go back and fix it. So this is a nice way to do it where you type it into Excel. I'm not sure you can see that on the screen, but it's showing up right there. I'll pop it into this cell and oops. There we go. That's what I wrote there. And now I can make that big enough so you can see it. Okay, that's what it says up in this little row right here. So you can just equals and then just start typing things out. Okay, so that's how I do that one. Now the area of the rectangle around the part looks like it's 6 by, add those two things up. And so what do? to get the area is I multiply, or I can even just say width, not doing a very good job here, width times height. Oh, I'm just typing terrible today. You can tell it's a holiday. But I'll get it right. So that's my computation. That's how you find an area. It's the width times the height. So here's another thing I can do. If I want those to be sort of centered, I can go up to my little center bar. And if I want them to be centered in the middle, I can, oh, there we go. So this is 6, oh, these things. Okay, so how do I do that? Okay, that equals 6 times. Now, if I'm going to add two things together in a multiply, remember I need the parentheses, 3.16 plus 0.34. If I'm multiplying stuff and I add something in the middle of my multiplication, I have to put parentheses on around it. So probably want to do the same thing with those. And the actual area of the part, oh my goodness. So this one's a little bit harder to do. And I'm going to make a video for you to show you how to do it in just a moment. And so you'll have another video to go along with this one on how to use AutoCAD. Use AutoCAD area tool. It's just a little bit easier to do than trying to figure out, you know, adding all this and taking away this. But you could, right? It could be, if you wanted to do it, it would be 27 minus this box, minus this box, minus this box, minus half of this box, minus this box, minus this box, minus this box, minus this. Okay, so you could, you know, which is basically this box. So you could do it without too much problem, but the area tool works really well. Okay, so I'll demonstrate that one in a separate video. Also, how do I find the length of this line? Okay, when I'm adding up my sides, I did it over here for you. It's 1 horizontally, 1.34. So if I type 1 and use my arrow key to go over 1.34, 1.67. This is 1.67 long. Okay, so I gave you the calculator for this angle one. You can also do this one then, right? It's 1 over 1.06 down. 1 over 1.06 down. This is 1.4546. I don't care if you truncate or round. For what we're doing here, it doesn't matter. So when you're adding up the sides and you're trying to figure out what those are, you can use this little calculator down here. Okay? So that's how we do that. But then look, oh, there's one. There's a bunch of them to do. Okay, so they're all kind of the same. Okay, but oh, here's some different area things so that you can figure out how to do some of these areas. Areas of a hexagon, and area of a 60-60 triangle. So now you can figure out, you know, this one is this plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times the area of this. So if you need help with some of these, let me know. And I can do more information on these.